I had the pleasure of interviewing the head of Kindle Vella, Virginia Milner. She shared all the ins and outs of publishing to the series-based platform of Kindle Vella. When asked what Virginia enjoyed reading, she had this to say.
I have to say I am a fan of the marriage auction.
Yeah.
Audrey started publishing it before we had even launched to readers. So internally, we started reading it, and we have our own little marriage auction book club on Slack internally on the Kindle Vella team, where we chat about the latest episodes.
After a few DMs and emails, I was able to finally get Audrey Carlan to agree to come onto the show and share her experience with publishing on Kindle Vella. Audrey Carlan is a #1 New York Times, USA Today, and Wall Street Journal best-selling author. She writes stories that help the reader find themselves while falling in love. Now, Audrey's Kindle Vella series, The Marriage Auction, sits at the top of the Kindle Vella charts. Let's get into the interview with the illustrious Audrey Carlan. Welcoming to the channel, Audrey Carlan. Audrey, how you feeling?
I'm feeling really good today. I'm excited to be here. This is fun.
Oh yeah. You got connected early. A rock star showing up 10 minutes early. Are you kidding me?
I can't wait to tell my husband you think I'm a rock star.
Yeah, there you go.
He's a huge music buff, and he's going to be like, yeah, okay.
Yep. So let's jump into the things, because we're going to really focus on Kindle Vella, the area that you are just dominating, and still, like, it launched in July and you've been at the top of the whole heap of Kindle Vella.
Well, I wasn't in the beginning.
Really?
I just, just like everybody else, I slowly worked my way up.
Gotcha.
I want to say in the beginning, I was like maybe number 25. And then after like a week or so, I was maybe up to 10. And then another week went by because I don't post every day. So there's not, a million likes that you can get in a day unless you have a million readers on there. So as it grew, I grew with it, I feel like. And somehow and magically, a bunch of headliners hit. Like, I love Rebecca Zanetti. She's amazing. She was dominating the whole thing from the beginning. But her story is done. So that, I think, made a space maybe for my story to do a little better at one point. And since then, it's I don't know, it's held, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. And you've got 30 episodes there. But let's back up just a little bit. What were your initial thoughts of Kindle Vella, not only as an author, but as a reader?
Okay, so I think it's two totally different experiences for sure. As an author, it's way challenging, very fun. It's a new thing. And when you're an author and you have been for a while, you kind of want those challenges. You want to push the limits a little bit. And I don't like to stay complacent ever. I always want to try new things, do new things. I'm going to fail. I'm going to succeed. Who knows? Whatever's going to work. I just don't like to be complacent in anything I do. So for me, when my agent contacted me and said, hey, we have this meeting with the Kindle Vella department. And I'm like, oh, I heard something about that, some murmurings before it ever went live. Because I wasn't one of those authors in the beta phase that wrote a bunch of stuff and then put it live right away. I had nothing,
Gotcha.
So I would say right before it went live, I maybe had 4 episodes that were being edited, and I'd written them in like 2 days because I was like, okay, I want to do it. Let's do it. So my agent encouraged me to do it because she loved Calendar Girl. And she's like, this is so your vibe, like serial saga, let's go. I dare you, essentially. And I was like, we'll see. I was really, really busy working on another project. And I was like, I'll give it a shot. And I kept trying to come up with a great idea, because I felt like it had to merit something important. It was like my first run on this new platform. And so I think I went through like 3 different ideas and, it was failing. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do this. And then I came up with the marriage auction and it just kind of fit. It just felt right. And so from an author perspective, it was that whole finding what was right for me and what I felt would take me through quite a long time of publishing. And then from a reader perspective, I was just gobbling up stories, like eating them up like Captain Crunch, man, because it's so fun. Everybody's posting their stories. It's all on the go. I mean, most of it is, because it's not like this platform has been in existence for very long.
Yeah.
So we all are kind of at the grind together, just working to put our own stories out there. And I love seeing that. And I found a story that I would never normally read, and I'm obsessed with it. So it's fun. I really, really enjoy the platform myself.
Did you have any reservations prior to this?
Okay, the only reservation was I'm going to be spending time writing something I don't know that's going to go anywhere. And that is always a risk when you have deadlines. And writing two things at once is sketchy for me. I don't normally do it unless I'm in the right headspace. So at the time I had a little freedom. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to try this, see how it goes. I can always use it and pull it out. And that's really, I think, what sealed the deal for me, was that I could pull it out at any time I wanted. And then 30 days later, I could release it. Because that was, I think, the first rules of Vella was, if you put it in, it has to stay in for 30 days. And I think that's still the rule. Mm-hmm. You could either pull it or you could also publish it. So in my mind, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this, and it's still my content. Nobody owns it. I own it. I can pull it whenever I want and create a book out of it if I'd like to, edit it, change it, whatever. And so that's why I had less reservations once I knew that was an option.
It makes sense. So you weren't having to go all in on Kindle Vella. You knew that there was less risk because you could end up taking it and moving it somewhere else, be it through ebook, print book, audiobook, and so forth.
Well, and for me, it's not a full-length novel yet. So It's not something that is ready to publish. I'm writing it as I go. So in a way, you're getting paid for your first draft. I mean, not, it kind of is.
Gotcha.
In a way, I mean, I'm huge about editing. I mean, if you look at the forums, I'm the first one that's going to say, hire a professional editor. I do not post anything that has not been edited. I just don't believe in it.
Smart.
And I happen to have a really amazing editor that is willing to edit those episodes the same day. So we're kind of in this little world together, and I'm lucky to have her. And I can't say that everybody has that, but if I didn't have that editor, I wouldn't be able to move at the pace I'm able to move at this time.
Hey, that's a good editor. Keep that editor.
Yes. Oh, I use it too.
Having published, over 50 books, and you corrected me, there was only 38 full-length novels, correct?
34 full-length novels.
34.
Once the next two release, January and April. But title-wise, you could add, I don't know, something like that.
But you've got scores. Anybody could go over to your website, audreycarlan.com. That's a really quick plug there, folks. Go look at how much she has there. How does that compare to publishing these 30 episodes of the marriage auction on Kindle Vella?
Publishing full length versus episodic?
Yeah.
Like I said, I think it's just that I'm visualizing the marriage auction as a constant state of flux. It's a work in progress at all times, but I'm not going back and making changes at this time. So if I was going to pull it out of Vella, which I don't intend to. So everybody keep reading on Vella. It's only available on Vella. But if I were to, then I would have probably to add more to it, make it a little bit different so that there was something more for the readers, which is definitely something I would do maybe later, like a volume 1, I'll plan to maybe release next year, that kind of thing. But I want Vella to succeed because I believe in this platform and it's been really good to me. And I like doing it this way. It's more fun. It's different. I'm not stressing about, okay, I have to write a chapter today and I have to write 5 more. And my deadline with my editor is this day. And then I have to go live. I have audio. This is just so free that as an author who has commitments to have full length novels done and written and published certain times throughout the year, this is just one of those things where I'm like, oh my God, it's like Christmas. I get to do what I want when I want to do it. This is awesome. And I get paid for it.
Yeah, even better.
Like a gift. It's literally my Christmas tree is full of presents underneath it, and they're all Kindle Vella.
How long is it taking you to produce an episode, meaning first draft to fully edited?
I normally, I have not written Thursdays yet. So when we're done today, I will write the next episode. It's going to be Ruby and Niall and Noah. They're one of my second girls. and their story. So I'll write probably anywhere from 1,800 to 2,700 words ish. I always just give myself like enough room for the muse to play. And I'll write a scene today. I will send it to my editor. She'll very likely have it done and back to me tonight. I'll finish dinner. I'll do the edits. And then I'll publish it late because I'm Pacific time. So probably around 10 or 11, I'll publish it. So it goes live by the morning.
That's an incredible workflow. And I definitely want to,
turnaround.
yeah, I want to come back around to that in just a second, because obviously you've got a good system in place and it's working really well for you. Mm-hmm. I'm just curious though, is there one publishing avenue you prefer over the others, be it KDP, Kindle Vella, elsewhere? Because I know that you have a TradPub deal or a hybrid deal of some sort. Am I incorrect in saying that?
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm definitely a hybrid author. I do traditional publishing as well as self-publishing. And so that to me is the definition of a hybrid author, someone who not only publishes their own work and receives the benefit of them, but also traditional. Like I have a title coming out with Harlequin in January. So that's my traditional.
Congrats. That's awesome.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. So that book will come out in January. And then I'm releasing a book indie in April. So it's, it just depends on how you plan your schedule. But I love the freedom of indie publishing, but I also really appreciate how much work the publishers do. Mm-hmm. They do the graphic design. They hire and pay the editor. Normally what's nice is I'm at a place where a lot of times I'm able to have a publisher hire my editor, which is really nice. That worked for me with Amazon, actually. When I did the International Guy series, which was a saga, 12 novellas that we released throughout a year. Yeah. They hired my editor at the time. And then we had 2 other editors for, the line edit and the proof. So it just depends on what works for you, not knowing that they're dealing with all of the formatting, the graphics design, publishing it all across the world is so much easier than having to do it all yourself.
Okay. Good stuff. Let's keep this train rolling. I've got some other burning questions about Kindle Vella. What are your thoughts on the compensation model? Especially things like the tokens and the bonuses. Let's start out with the tokens. What are your thoughts on it?
You know what? It reminds me of a game. So to me, instead of playing Candy Crush or I like a game called Homescapes because you decorate a house. I think that's fun. And you have to buy things to decorate your house better. So it's no different in that regard to me. The tokens are just a way to pay small amounts for something that you're going to get right then. Instead of waiting, the beauty of Vella is that it's ongoing. It's all the time. It's every single week. If you're an author and you're posting every week, that means all your readers are getting action from you, words from you, story from you every single week. And that has been what I think my readers have really appreciated, is that they don't have to wait for 3-4 months for the next title. They're reading something every week. They're getting their fix. Then they're going over to the next author that they love and getting their fix there. Book readers are voracious. We are all about getting the word. So instead of playing Candy Crush, people are reading my marriage auction, which is freaking awesome.
Much better. I'm sure it's a time well spent. So
and it's cheaper. So think about it this way. Mm-hmm. If you're using tokens and you're going to read it's not cheaper overall, obviously, because it's a saga. So it never ends.
Right.
It does. I'm just not sure when. But you're reading an episode and it's like 20 cents. If 2,000 words is a pretty good sized chapter in a novel, and that's 20 cents to you. So if you're sitting there having your Starbucks that cost you $4.50 and you're paying 20 cents while you're chilling on your break, you've been entertained for 20 cents.
That's not bad.
It seems like a pretty good deal to me.
Now,
but I read a lot. So to me, it's really, it seems cheap.
Yeah, 20 cents. Yeah, that's definitely easily doable.
Yeah.
A question though about the bonuses. All right. So there's been a lot of confusion. I know Virginia Milner did a really good job of expressing how the bonuses work and such like that. Now, I don't need any specific dollar amounts or anything else like that from you, because I think we can just get over that. Are you as confused as other authors publishing to Kindle Vella about the bonuses? If not, could you share your insights?
I was convinced we were not getting a bonus the last month because it was like later than the other ones. It was like 3 days later. And so I was like, they're done. They're not giving any more bonuses. And my marketing guy is like, no, it's very clearly written on their website and all the information. He's like, just relax. I'm like, because I get excited. I get so excited
Yeah.
to see what the bonus is. And I take bets with my team on what we're going to get. And I just, because it's rewards. I told you on when we were talking on the break, I love a reward system. So I feel like if you work hard, you get benefits. And the way that Amazon has structured it right now is, I mean, everybody who works hard is getting paid. So, make sure your stuff is fully edited. That's the whole thing. I was talking to you about that too, is that I personally, as a huge reader, I read a lot, 2 to 3 books a week. So and on top of that, I'm reading episodes on Vella. So if you're a reader, you don't want a ton of errors in the work, and you don't want, plot holes and things like that. So it's kind of like, really work hard and you will get your reward. That's just kind of the way I see it.
Nice. And the good news is, to clarify, I know Virginia had shared this, that they're not getting rid of those bonuses anytime soon.
I was so shocked. I was like,
you're like, yes,
I'm never leaving. I'm never leaving. I will work so hard for you guys.
The office betting pool doesn't go away for you. You're going to still be able to bet indefinitely.
Yes. I mean, it's not only my livelihood, but I have a full-time assistant. I have a marketing person. I have an editor that I pay. I have a graphics designer. I have an agent, lawyers. It's a lot. So knowing that you have that monthly little extra, you're kind of like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's very much like, I think it's their platform with the Kindle Unlimited. I'm not, I don't have very many titles in Kindle Unlimited because it doesn't suit my readership for me. I mean, yes, there's a lot of people in Kindle Unlimited. I think there's so many in Kindle Unlimited that people can produce a ton of work, and maybe it's not at the level that I wish to have my work released. And so for me, it needs to be wide. I prefer to release my books wide so that people can go into a bookstore and pick it up. I want to have that availability of print, audio, ebook, and I want it to be available on all the platforms. I love Amazon. I mean, Amazon is I'm a Kindle girl, like everything is Kindle, but I want to read it. I want to own it forever. So I want it in my Kindle. I own it forever. And Unlimited, you have to like give away it and then get it back. And I don't know.
It gets messy. It does get messy.
People holding my books forever.
So
you can see.
So the question now for you is, can you briefly share the practical steps to publish on Kindle Vella? How does that work for you?
The practical steps. I mean, like for a new author or someone like daily, like me as a person, just we'll
say new author developing into an established author.
Okay. I would say, before you go live, have no less than 5 planned to post at one time, because you want to hit that 3 free as well as 2 more to start getting paid, because you're not going to get paid and you're not going to get them to remember you and keep clicking if you don't have a good amount to start with. I think I started with 5, if I remember correctly. And then because it was really, really early, I was able to have like 7, 9, a lot more episodes in the first month. So once people got into it, they had a lot more to read. And that's when you really start getting paid, is when you have more story. So if you're not wanting to write per week the way I am and commit to that schedule, because I'm not going to promise it's easy. It is not. And you have to have a team. My team not only has to be ready, they have to wait until I'm done. So it's literally my editor's like, so she's got to do her part. I have to go back and do my part, as well as, everybody has a life. So I don't recommend doing it the way I do it per se, unless that's what gets your engine running, and that does for me. It's exciting. It's that race. But for others, I would suggest have quite a few episodes pre-done so that you have that space to have a little relief, and publish no less than once per week. I publish twice. It suits my life. It fits me. But I'm reading a story that publishes 3 times. if it published 5 times, I would read every single day that story. So it's Bug by Kelly Chase, just so you all know. I'm like obsessed with Bug by Kelly Chase.
Nice.
It's zombie apocalypse. It's my gig.
I feel almost like we should reach out to Kelly Chase and have her interviewed now at this point. You know, we went from Virginia to you.
She would do it. She would do it. I've reached out to her enough, and we're friends. So
Kelly,
I'm obsessed with her work.
This is your open invitation, Kelly. So
contact Dale.
So what are your plans to do with the marriage auction? You kind of briefly touched on it, on possibly taking this serialized content and putting it into collection.
Dream is, or you want to know what my absolute plans are?
Give me both of them.
Is for it to become a TV series. I'm writing it episodically. Ideally, I mean, hey, Amazon, connect with your buddies over at Amazon Prime Original. I'm just saying, we could be besties. I could be friends with them too. But that would be something like Amazon Original would be wicked cool. I just love to see anything that was a book or a story come to life. And, you know, that's every author's dream, I think, is to see their words being not only read, but seen on the silver screen, which is really, really cool. I will probably, the goal will be, I've written Calendar Girl, which was a saga, International Guy, which is a saga. So the odds are I will take it that route into a volume 1, you know, that I'll release. And I'll release it far later than Vella, so that the people who absolutely are like, no, I will not do this, because, you know, people are techie, they have problems. They're like, how do you do this? And I'm like, go on your phone, reading from your phone. I want it on my Kindle. So there, you know, once it starts growing and becomes like available on your Kindle app, like your Kindle device, that's going to be wicked, wicked cool. If it happens, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm just putting it out in the universe and hoping for the best. And then international, I have a huge international readership. So that's probably been my biggest downside to this platform, is that it's not yet available abroad, even for English readers. And I think that when that occurs, it is going to open up so many doors, not only for readers, but for authors. And it's going to change the way that we read. It's going to change the way that we look at things. And who better than Amazon to do it? I mean, it's Amazon. Come on. Like, you guys, it's Amazon. If you don't believe this thing is going to be huge, you guys are crazy.
They're going to be putting a lot of money and time into it for sure.
Well, they already have. Think about how much, I mean, in bonuses alone, what was it last month was $500,000, $450,000?
Yep, $500,000.
So 500, 450 before that, 400 before that, 250 before that. So it's like $1 million already. I just don't see them being like, yeah, we're going to burn $1 million.
Let's just pull the plug, call it a day.
Yeah, no way. I just think that this is going to be the new way that people get their words. People are busy, Dale. They are like, I got to get my kids from school. I read all my Kindle Vellas when I'm in the car at school, because I wait in 2 pickup lines. So it's like, reading my next Bug by Kelly Chase. And I'm like, oh, let me go get a Zanetti fix. You know, it's really convenient. It's so short and it's awesome. I love the speed with which I get new content, and that I can get a fix, and it's something I can look forward to. I can wake up and be like, oh, it's Monday, my story posted, you know, it's exciting. I think it's fun.
Nice. So let's push a little bit further forward here. What are some ways you promote your series, The Marriage Auction, on Kindle Vella?
Okay, I use obviously my social media platform. I use Facebook. I'm very comfortable with Facebook. I use Instagram. I am trying to use TikTok, but I'm 42, so it's hard. TikTok is hard for a 42-year-old. I'm sorry. If you're 42 and you're aces at it, bravo, because sis, I'm having trouble. It's difficult, but I have like the Twitter, all of that. Mostly I like to write and read, so I'm kind of the worst at this. My team is really strong with creating imagery and choosing teasers. So what I do is I will have my beta readers pick out lines they loved, sections, you know, and we'll make little teasers and put them out across the social platforms. Every single time I post an episode, we do this thing where it has like a flash up and it's like a little mini video and it says episode 30 is live, go check it out. Sometimes we'll promote what character it is that I'm featuring that day. I do interviews like this, obviously, because I think that getting the word out is really important right now. And I do podcasts. So I have, I think, 3 podcasts coming out this month to talk about the marriage auction. And I just think that the more you talk about it, the more you involve. I have a marriage auction Facebook page. I always use the hashtag marriage auction. So anytime people can go look it up and see what's current, what information I'm putting out there. I share character descriptions as well as like my own little imagery. So whatever character inspiration I use, like for this character named Madame Alana, she's the auctioneer. I love Lindsay Price for her. I'm obsessed with her for Lindsay Price. I want one day Lindsay Price to be Madame Alana in the TV show.
Nice.
She was in Lipstick Jungle. She's absolutely stunning. Her face is perfect. Her voice is so like sultry and sexy. Anyways, those are the kinds of things I see and I share with my readers. And I ask them, I take polls. Who's your favorite character? What's your favorite storyline this week? Who are you wanting to see more of? You know, I let them also kind of play with it and we have conversations about it. So I think if you're going to do this and it's going to be part of your world weekly, you need to make it part of your readers' world weekly.
Brilliant. I love this. You gave a lot of great information. I've got a couple more questions and then we're going to go to a live question and answer. If you're watching this on the replay, by the way, folks, the nice thing is you could still drop some questions and maybe we can kind of get that on over to her.
I can answer them later.
So could you do me a favor? Show me the back of your hand like this. Show me the back of your hand. And I just need you to just tilt your thumb upward and then bring your fingers in there. Folks, she just told you to hit the thumbs up. Come on, do it.
Thumbs up.
For sure. Let's make this a thumbs up party. So I've got a couple more questions. Now that you've got some amazing momentum behind you in Kindle Vella and of course beyond Kindle Vella, what are some of the ways that you're going to keep that momentum going and your success just blazing out of control?
Well, God willing, it keeps up. I'm just like every other author, you guys. There is every day I check my mobile phone, like within probably 5 minutes of waking, I click on my Kindle Vella link just to see if I'm still number 1. I mean, it's going to happen. Someone else is going to jump over. If you want to work hard and bust ass, I want to cheer you on. Like, let's go. Let's make this awesome. Let's have tons of great stories out there for everybody to read. And I think there really is a lot of great stories already there that people need to just go click through. The first 3 episodes are free of every single story. Amazon is giving you 200 free coins to try this out. For my story alone, Dale, you can read 13 episodes for free. That's almost half of what I already have available.
Dang. Oh my gosh.
I did the math. It's literally if you used all your 200 coins technically for mine, then you could read 13 for free. So any story that you pick, you can do that with your coins. So go check it out. There's nothing to lose. So then I would say that you just need to commit to this. And for me, it's about really getting into the character development, digging in on the plot, making each episode feel like you got something special out of it. And granted, there are going to be times where it's just the characters talking on an airplane and it's not nearly as interesting, but there's feeling there. There's tension there. There's underlying inner dialogue that you're learning and it's changing you as you read it. And it's getting into your mind. I do polls and I see when somebody doesn't like a character and I'm like, oh, let's make them love them.
Nice.
So the second you say I hate a character, I'm like, oh, that's going to be your new best friend.
Nice.
Keep it interesting. Shake it up. Listen to your readers. Let the ego go. Pay attention to what your editor's saying. If your editor is not interested, neither are the readers. My editor, oh man, I think it was like a few episodes ago, I wrote this episode and I was like, it's okay. And she's like, okay, there's quite a few problems with this one. I was like, oh, crud, I'm dying, But she was right. And it made it better because she was like, no, I don't know where your headspace was. The characters you've written to date do not fit in with that. So it's truly a team effort. You got to have your team behind you. My assistant is reading everything I write. I have 5 beta readers on top of my assistant reading it live in draft to tell me, ugh, I can't believe that Dakota did that. I can't believe Ruby's not seeing through this. So I get to feel that connection that the reader is feeling so I can make changes before I post that episode. And that's kind of, I think maybe my secret weapon is that I'm actually getting reader feedback before I go live with my episode.
Smart. Very, very smart. You've given a lot of great tips to people and a lot of inspiration. This has been fantastic. How can viewers find you?
You can find me anything that you type in at Audrey Carlan, AudreyCarlan is on Instagram, TikTok, www.audreycarlan.com is where my website is. But go to Kindle Vella or go on Amazon.com, type in Audrey Carlan, and you're going to find me.
That's good stuff. Oh, by the way, we are really seeing a massive amount of people watching right now. So if you're watching this right now, you got questions, drop them on in here. You got a ton of love. If you don't mind me showering you with some praise here.
Please. Hey, these are my people.
So yeah, actually there are some people who came in here specifically. Let's see here. I saw one that they had to get back to work at some point or another. They had some patients to attend to. You've been referred to as Queen Audrey Carlan. Let's see here. What else? Audrey got my teen hooked on Bug for Callie too.
Yes, because Bug is a zombie apocalypse. There's no romance, so there's no sexy time. And I'm shocked that I'm reading it. It turns out I can read zombie romance, but watching it is much harder. It's because it's gross. Like, I cannot do The Walking Dead, but I think that makes you not feel good. Whereas Bug by Callie Chase has this end of the world in LA vibe to it that you're just like, this shit could happen. Like, it feels real and it feels exciting. And I like that. It's like an end of the world movie all the time. Every episode is like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? It's very exciting. So, but yeah, everybody should read it, and kids too, teens, all of them.
Let's see here. Also, man, you got some people just dropping some love. Michael Lee putting some hearts down. Amy Tannenbaum, few hearts. Let's see here. I'm going to keep scrolling through some of the comments. Somebody put, and maybe you understand this, hashtag TeamFaith. Can you be able to explain that at all?
Oh, okay. So TeamFaith. Faith is one of the characters in the marriage auction. So there's 4 women that are up for auction that end up, well, there was 6. There was 5 girls and 1 guy that was up for auction, and one of them didn't get picked. And so you'll learn about that. But anyways, TeamFaith is every episode I change whose perspective I'm entered into. So I started it with Faith, and she's on the run from a very bad guy. And she's entered herself into the marriage auction so that she could essentially have a new life and be saved from this running, the running that she's been doing for years. And she has a big secret that people are slowly kind of trying to guess, which is really fun for me. And then there's Team Dakota, who is a country girl, and her sister, Team Savannah. They are 2 girls that both entered themselves into the auction, unbeknownst to the eldest, because their family farm is trying to be bought out by the enemy, who ends up buying one of the girls. It's very Hatfields and McCoys, if you guys have any historical reference of, 2 fighting families for land, and now one of the bad guys is marrying one of the girls. So she's really pissed about it too. I mean, she punches him like right away. She's right out the gate. And then there's Ruby, who was a stripper who wants a new life, and she is gung-ho about being chosen. And it turns out identical twins want to purchase her. So they decide they're going to both pay half the fee and fight for her affections and attentions to try to win her hand in marriage by the end of the month. They have to, once they're chosen and bid upon and sold essentially into an arranged marriage, this is not sex trafficking, they're choosing to do this, then they get lots of money for it. So they're making their choices. And then she can decide which brother she wants to marry from the identical twins. So TeamFaith is one of them, Team Savannah, Team Dakota, and Team Ruby. So that's why everybody is saying team.
TeamFaith. There you go. Now we understand.
Yes.
There was a comment from Tracy Vuolo. She said, heck yes, a TV series. That would be so cool.
Wouldn't it? Let's just put it out in the universe, everybody.
Nice.
For real. That would be, I mean, obviously that is my dream. So one day we'll see.
That'd be awesome. Celinda LaBruce, she's actually a good friend of mine and a supporter here of the channel. She said, I love your story. Been reading it since the first week. So
thank you. Thank you so much. I'm stoked. I couldn't believe it. Like today, I think, late last night, my marketing guy texts me and he's like, I just want you to know that the marriage auction now has the most likes of any story out on the Vella. And I lost it. I burst into tears and I was losing my mind because I never expect anything like that. I hope that people want to read the words. I hope people fall in love with this taboo survival of the fittest, very female empowered story, and that they connect with those characters and their issues and their family issues and the drama, and it's an escape for them. And that's really what I hope for, but you never know what people are going to like. And I'm just feeling very blessed and grateful that they happen to like this.
You're definitely you're definitely striking a nerve with a lot of people. That's so cool. By the way, it was so funny. I didn't want to acknowledge it when you said it originally, but you said you're 42 years old.
I'm 42.
How are you?
Hello.
Because Bob Rossi says it just really great. He says you look like you're 30. I'm merely 3 years older than you, but I look like I'm 10 years older than you.
No,
So there you go.
It's the makeup.
Yeah, I didn't put my makeup on today, so that probably could be it. And
That's the difference.
I get a little bit of bedhead. I didn't feel like doing my hair today. All right, we've got a couple of questions. By the way, folks, we got about 4 more minutes. You got questions? Okay. Load us up.
Get them in.
So, I seen one. Oh gosh, it was a juicy one. Here we go. Jean DeVita says, do you have any advice for authors who don't think they can afford an editor but want to put out a good series?
I definitely think that, a lot of people self-edit, a lot of people use Grammarly, a lot of people use Pro Writing Aid. I feel like when I first came into this industry, I was scraping by to pay for my editing. And I know that is really hard. Because a full-length novel back in the day was, $1,000 to get it edited. And that was on the cheap. That was them being nice. Normally editing a novel costs in upwards of $2,000 to $4,000, depending on how many edits, what quality you're getting for it. So I would encourage you to have a little side kitty fund that you're saving for editing, because for real, the money I would spend it on editing over anything else, because that's your baby. You don't want to put out a piece of work that is garbage. So definitely self-edit, have your friends read it. If you can work out a deal with an editor to do payments, that was something I did in the beginning. And it was like, okay, I'm paying you $50 a month. And there are editors that are willing to help you through that. Or, hey, I'm going to put this out. Like, find a way to do that. But I really believe in professional editing. My manuscripts supposedly are relatively clean, but I use commas like glitter. I say it all the time. I'm like,
sprinkle a little here.
Where did it go? When I look at my edits, I skim the page and I'm like, accept all.
That's my process too. I'm like, it's probably right.
It's when she has comments that I'm like, oh, that means a rewrite.
Yeah.
So definitely, I think editing is key. Do anything you can to get the best product possible before you put it out there.
So smart. And I am not going to disagree with you. By the way, my mother is here watching the live broadcast, and she said this, Dale, this is one of your best interviews, but Audrey is so vivacious. So
I love your mom.
Oddly enough, I do too.
It is so cool.
Yeah, we gotta get mom reading the marriage auction soon.
Yes,
so
please. I'm not scared. Do it. I dare you. My dad's reading it. No joke. He just told me that this week. I've been telling everybody.
How does that make you feel, like him reading some things? Because obviously it's a little racy, I'm sure.
It is. I didn't allow him to read any of my work for years, and then it was like once I hit 40, I was like, you know what? You can read now.
You're like, go ahead. I don't care.
I'm an adult. You can read.
Nice.
He took it seriously.
We've got one final question here. I see inside the
Okay, I'm
chat.
ready
We're
for
going to
it.
wrap it up on this specific note here. And it comes from Shermia Trueheart. She says, how do you stay motivated to write?
I read. I hate to say it, but authors that tell me they never read, I'm just like, how is your muse not dead? Like, my muse needs content all the time. I need to fill it up. I need to fill up the tank so that I'm excited about life. I'm excited about stories and the pretend world and fiction. And when a character's so beefy and good in a book, and you're like, oh, I just want to write something like that. That's what gets me going. So to me, whatever books you love reading, ideally that's probably what you should be writing because that's where you're most passionate. And I read primarily romance because that's what I love to write. And I believe love is love. I'm obsessed with it. I'm into it. And almost everything I read is romance. I would say 95% of what I read. The other 5% is bug.
What's, this is my final question. I'm sorry. How does it feel getting placement on Harlequin? Because I know how big that is, how big of a deal it is.
That was a big deal. Like, when my agent told me that they wanted a series, and it was my first women's fiction. So it was a 3-book deal, and I released the 3rd book in January 4th. It's called On the Sweet Side. Check it out. Got to put in my plug. And it has Native American characters. And that was what was even more important to me, is because my assistant is half Native American. And so I really was obsessed with their culture and the interesting facets of the way they live their life and the way that, history has changed. And so I wrote romances in that. And it was really powerful when Harlequin, the romance of all romances, picked me up. That was really cool. So I'm so grateful. I'm just grateful. You guys, I love all of you. I can't even, it's hard. It's hard to believe that you guys care so much. So thank you.
Well, you've been fantastic. I appreciate you spending an hour of your time here with me today.
Yes.
Again,
we can do it again. We'll do it again. You should hit me up in 6 months. We'll see where I'm at then.
Absolutely. Hopefully it's still at the top of the charts. Just point down below your head here, audreycarlan.com, folks. We also have some links inside the description down below that you can take a look at all of her stuff in Kindle Vella, as well as on Amazon and beyond. Yes. Till then, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being a guest today, Audrey. I appreciate your time.
I had a great time, and everybody, happy reading. Go check out Kindle Vella. You won't be missing out. You're gonna have a great time.
All right, so now we're both going to awkwardly hold up our thumbs because that indicates everybody should hit the thumbs up and watch the next video.
Should, because I want to know that you like me.
Take care, everybody.
Bye, Dale.